I guess the reason why we do it, we're sort of involved with motorsport myself whenever I was younger, and then the kids, obviously it was their turn, so they enjoyed the motorsport, then they get good. And when they get good at something, then it's very hard to stop. So I guess a lot of people think we're a wee bit nuts for the roads and whatnot, but it's part of the sport and the love for it. It was always a big ambition of Aaron to do the Northwest. That was a big goal for him. Doing it last year for the first and having a good go at it. He's really chomping at the bit to get back this year again. Maybe later on, but we're not sure. But there is talk of the right sponsor comes on board with Macau later on in the year as well.
Well, how I got involved in motorcycling because I'm a motorcyclist myself. In the early days, I used to race off-road bikes, motocross, which I really enjoyed there. But obviously, I get older, my bones get sore, and then I soon picked up the rest of the passion for motorcycles. Never left me. Then I met Aaron and Paul through quad racing, and I got Aaron there. I've been with Aaron since 2009, right through his British, Ulster and Irish Championship career. And then we went to motorbikes, short circuits for a wee fun day, for his track day. Soon realised Aaron had a severe talent for this, and then his father progressed on, and I've been here with him ever since.
Well, I guess we got started into this whenever Aaron was at the quads and continued on with the sport. Again, he got up to speed pretty quick. So I guess you do get sucked in whenever a rider starts getting up to the top end of the field and winning the odd race. Then you get sucked in for another year and you want the winning streak to continue. And there's no better feeling that whenever you're coming back home in the lorry and you've had a couple or three wins over a weekend. It makes it all worthwhile. And again, sponsorship's crucial to the whole thing. We're pretty lucky that we have a business through yourselves, Briggs, other companies that are helping us along the journey, because it is expensive sport. So to do it all on your own, it can get a wee bit stressful, but whenever you have sponsors and you're rewarding them with wins and publicity and things moving forward, it does make it makes it a little bit easier and all worthwhile. Yeah, the racing takes up a lot of time, and it's a small team. There's on a good day there's maybe 6 or 7 guys come along. So even down to feeding the guys at the track and getting them all sorted out, it does take it eats into a bit of your life, your personal life. But we all enjoy it, and we try to keep the fun factor in it, keep the family all involved. Makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah, it's a massive commitment in terms of time involvement in motorcycles. It does take up a lot of your time. Yes, maybe in the background, family time maybe suffers a wee bit, but it's the same again for the love of the motorcycling there. I've chosen to do that, and I still carry on to do so. I'll not tell you what my wife said when I was racing. I never turned up to pick my son up at the hospital because I was leading the Ulster Novice Championship at the time, and I needed the points. I told her to wait the next day, I would come and lift her, like at home when she was home and all.
I guess the sport has its highs and lows. Obviously, whenever you've got a rider and he brings home a win, that's your good day. And then you'll have a bad day whenever maybe he slides off. But if he gets up and walks away from it, that's still a good day. It's not the result you wanted. It's a long season, so you just have to regroup, get the bike built, and try it again. Yes, the sport looks, fun and glamorous, but there's a lot goes on behind the scenes. This year we were in Spain testing. We had a problem with an engine, put us right back in the back foot because there was a shortage of parts. So we had to actually go and buy a new engine just a week before the first round of the Ulster Championship. It was an extra expense we hadn't really allowed for, but we needed an engine. I guess it's all those wee bits and the hard work that goes in, prepping lorries, prepping bikes, and yes, there's a little bit of downtime out of work as well if it's a long weekend. So we have to just try and get it all put together, and get out there. Well, I guess we're quite a small team, 5 or 6 people involved. Myself, obviously. Then we have Jim, who's the main mechanic, and then we also have Jamie Hamilton. Jamie has been crucial to Aaron this last 2 seasons, bringing him forward as a rider, working with him very closely, changing things up, bike setup, which I say Jamie's been crucial. And then we've also got Aaron's wife, Sarah, they need the girls there to prep the tea and get the sandwiches made and keep everybody fed at the races as well. And I guess inside the team would be lost without the girls. Obviously they're there supporting, you know, a lot of downtime watching the husbands and different ones out and about. And Sarah's very good there with the sandwiches and making things, and Ruth's now involved as well, hopefully helping us out. So again, we couldn't do it without the girls and their support. I guess there is a little bit of pressure. It does increase the better the rider gets. I guess there's a lot of people out there expects you to be right at the front. Whenever you have a bad day, you're wondering what's going on. So yeah, there's a little bit of pressure there, and the technology's moving forward as well. And you do have to be running the latest equipment to be up there right at the front.
This game in general is getting no easier. Modern technology come along, especially motorcycle electronics, even with the MotoGP, you know, suspension ride heights can adjust up and down for launch control, for starts. You know, when's it going to change? When's it going to be ahead?
No, it's not going to get any easier anytime soon, but
No,
just have to go with the times and keep trying as hard as you can, and also the self-training. It doesn't get any easier for me. If anything, it gets harder as you get a wee bit older, but just have to keep going.
Keep marching forward, keep going. In this racing game, there is great moments of success, and there's also bad moments as well. I.e., we could have just a few weeks ago, we had a major mechanical trouble with this bike here in particular. It ran some main burns out of the crankshaft, which we couldn't get parts for. So in turn, we had to get a new engine, which arrived last Thursday night, early hours Friday morning. The engine was installed back in, it was on track again on Saturday morning to run in, then back out to Kirkstown for Sunday for some testing to get up to speed again. So far so good, everything's well.
For me as a rider, there's been great times and bad times. Mainly great. You know, the downsides and obviously the crashing in these big bikes, but we're trying to keep that to a minimum. Luckily over my years, touch wood, I haven't been too bad. And there's certainly been more positives than there has been those as such, so I'm very lucky.
I guess a lot of people probably wonder why I'm encouraging my son to be in a pretty dangerous sport. Whenever he works at the family business, he's crucial to the business. You don't want any reactions and time out of work. But I guess because we work together, we're all very close, and we enjoy our time away at the weekends. It's family bonding time, and we keep the whole family involved in it. So it's don't really look at it as serious pressure as why should you not let your son do it. It's just more time away together. You just hope and pray that they produce the goods and come home safe. Yes, Aaron has got his dreams of where he wants to be in the sport, TT being one of them, but I've said no to that. It's the Northwest is as far as I really let him go. The TT, he should have been out maybe 4 or 5 years ago to start and learn. And again, he's going to be a dad this year, so with the family, wife, baby coming, I think he needs to sort of just settle down a little bit, continue on the route he's going. Going to get into the BSB this year with the 900s, the BMW. So that'll be something a wee bit more exciting. And I guess I'll let that happen to keep him away from thinking about roads or anything else more dangerous than the short circuits. At least in the short circuit, you have a bit of a slip, you have a little bit more room to play with. But again, the Northwest, he loves. It's a home event. It's a massive event, a sport event in Northern Ireland, with Briggs and all new sponsors. Well, last year and this year on board. He would love to win a race there, but it's only his second year there. He's out in the Superbike this year. We just want to get him around safe, and yeah, if the results and he can get it up in there with a few of the top guys, we'd be delighted. But the main thing is get him home safe. Well, I guess sometimes you do question how long you're going to continue in the sport. This season didn't start off well with a blown engine, so you start to think, oh, it puts you under a lot of extra pressure. And then again, last year Aaron had a couple of injuries. He had a high side at Cookstown, which he done his collarbone in, and then later on the season he broke his ankle at Anglesey, which was pretty bad. Those wee things are the bits that make you question how much further do we want to pursue the sport. But I guess the wee bugs there, and the family all get together and we just regroup and push on for the next event. Yes, the sport is expensive. Yes, on stock bike, you're talking 35,000 just for the bike. And then you've got your run cost as the season goes through. Then you've got your crash damage, whatever happens there. So yeah, it's pretty expensive. We're pretty lucky with sponsors and help from different guys, you know, to try and make the whole thing work. Time away from work's a big problem as well on long race weekends, because Jim's the general manager here, but he's also our chief mechanic, and then Aaron's valuable to the business and he's out, I'm out. So on long race weekends, pulling 3 people out of the business can get a wee bit tricky. We try to do overtime and fill the void before we leave that we're caught right up so that it doesn't affect the business.
There's an awful lot of work that we do. Obviously, general person in the public wouldn't understand what goes on in the background of the race team, but anybody involved in the sport should soon tell you exactly it's not easy. And down to the physical side of things as well for the rider. Aaron probably 2 or 3 times a week, maybe up at 5:30, straight to the gym, training, pushing hard, and young Emma puts him through these paces there. I know for he comes back, he's tired, he's racked, he's not ready for a day's work, but unfortunately we'll have to do it. But it is hard.
Yeah, no, we do a lot of training, and that's, people don't realise. They think it's just, you know, rock up, you know, on a Saturday and you do your racing and you come home, and really it's you have to come home and unpack and wash, and then you're back up on Sunday, maybe training if you're feeling fit. To try and train 3 times a week, and then you'd be back out on a bike again, trying again, just to get more time.
Yeah, and if he's not on that bike, he'd be on the motocross bike, training, practicing, getting fit, bike fit. It's all about bike fit. Fatigue's a major factor in this sport. Obviously, if you're not at the sharp end, you can't do it. You know, obviously, between the 2 bikes, you know that.
It's hard to try and avoid the tiredness between the 2. The motocross is very, very physical, maybe more so than a superbike in some aspects, but then you've got different altogether. You get a lot of arm pump, and your legs and back would be sore on a motocross bike, but you'd also get very sore legs from squeezing the tank on a superbike, and you'd also get a wee bit of arm pump too. But the likes of the Northwest, a lot in your neck. Going down slipstreaming. You know, your hands, arm pump, you get a lot of arm pump, so it's just trying to keep yourself fit on the top end, but not bulking up muscle either, because that's when the arm pump comes in.
That's when it comes in, As a mechanic's point of view, it's probably a lot goes on in the background that people don't see, but we never take our eye off the ball. We're at the sharp end of the thing. The machine needs to be right for the rider, i.e. suspension checks there, you know, brake pad checks, tire pressures. Tire pressures are very crucial in these different compounds we run in these tires now. So they have to be set perfectly, and the right race temperatures as well. Aaron, his information coming back to me now is providing detailed stuff to me now, and it helps the team, helps the bike go forward, and Aaron to progress.
Yeah, well, sometimes we go backwards.
Yeah,
maybe we'll make a wee change.
You could make a change, it could go wrong. You could do the wrong suspension change, too much compression dampening on the bike, and not enough. You know, you can't go wrong. But that's racing, and you have to try and make that point while you're doing it on a split second. You know.
Yeah, the motorbike community is it's like a tight family. It's very hard to explain, but everybody will look out for each other. Aaron's been very lucky that Ryan Gibson and a few other guys that come into the sport just before Aaron did and have given him loads of advice. And yes, bigger names out there as well, and that advice is crucial. And Aaron seems to be pretty popular in the paddock and gets on well with the other riders, and I say the information and soaking and absorbing things in from them is crucial, and it makes it worthwhile, and it helps him as a rider to develop. And again, as a rider, he's getting popular, so people want to come around and see you. Riders are a wee bit funny. They don't always like that. They're a bit of a funny breed where they'll hide. But on a race day, you can understand that, because there's a lot going on inside their head, and they want to be on the game. The training and everything they do midweek, down to their dads and what they're doing to get preparation ready for that Friday, Saturday, Sunday racing. You know, they're focused on that, and they maybe just don't have the time. And so on days off is when they make time, you know, for, you know, the spectators and fans and different ones to come in and see?
People ask me why I'm still doing this. Well, the grey hairs there was one thing, but I love the sport, and at the present time I still want to continue on as long as I can, just for the love of the sport and for the team. The wife has said to me on several occasions, Jim, you're not going to pack this in and take a break for a while. But what else would I do? This is what I know. This is what I love doing. And that's what I tell her.
Yeah, well, I think I get that too as
You
well.
get that
I
as
get
well.
that every week, but I quit when I quit the quads, how many years ago now? 10, 15 years ago I quit the quads, and I really missed it, and then it's probably your fault that I maybe got, one of your faults anyway, that I got onto these.
I'll take the blame again.
You know? So, I know, you just have to keep going. There's bad days and there's injuries, but you have to come back from them and just keep going, because I know if I quit I'll just miss it.
Yeah. And we've been together a long time, and I've been helping right through from his full racing career, from ATVs right through the road racing and short circuit racing.
It took me a wee bit more time to learn the roads. Obviously, I haven't had a lot of time on the roads compared to the circuits, but I've help from a few guys there, sort of veterans around the roads, and they've shown me along. And you can't take just the same amount of risks on the road, but it's when to do it and when not to do it, and when it's a wee bit safer than others. So
Slipstreaming is crucial, it's a big learning curve to learn.
slipstreaming, it's okay, but it does take a minute for your head to get round the long straights, and the way you suck into the rider in front of you, or else you're being sucked back by the rider behind you. It takes a wee minute or two to get your head around. So you come to the end of the slipstream, and some of these corners, it takes you more than a couple of laps just to find your braking markers and finding things on the road you might remember, you know, as long as they don't move or you're in trouble, but finding them and knowing where to brake and starting somewhere safe and then closely getting to where you think you're at your limit of braking. It was hard to get used to, but I think with more experience and going this year after being there last year at the Briggs Equipment Northwest, we'll have a wee bit more experience, and the fire brigade will be good about there. I don't think I have any heroes as such. Like I love all racing, I love all championships. I like to see who's racing, and if I'm racing in it, I want to be the one that's at the front. So don't really have heroes as much, just appreciate what they do, and it's enjoyable to watch. Yeah, I actually love MotoGP at the minute. It'd probably be my favourite championship, and I think it's fair to say anyone would love to have a spin on one of MotoGP bikes.
Definitely,
So,
serious horsepower and technology.
the technology alone, I would love to just see what way they work. Goals for 2025 mainly was to compete in the full Ulster Superbike Championship, along with a couple of road races. The main one being the Briggs Equipment Northwest 200. That's sort of what we set up the year for, really. So I'll take it a wee bit easier at the start of the Ulster Championship rounds, making sure that the bike's going to be okay for it. Because unlike the bigger teams, this one has to make me do. So after that, then we sort of relax a wee bit more, and we'll just get focused straight back into the short circuits. Like any rider, you know, there's certain events that you just all want to win. I know I do. I want to win a few events at the Ulster Championship. Just need to get my head down. The Northwest, yes, I'd love to win, but it's more so on the big bike this year, getting experience and learning it, and not jumping straight into it. So yeah, I'd love to win the Northwest someday, but you need to set realistic goals, and for this year, you know, we'll set a goal that's achievable, and who knows, maybe next year we'll be closer to the front, but certainly this year we'll be close enough as well. The goal for the Northwest, Briggs Equipment Northwest 200 would be to be in the top 10, certainly the top 10, yeah, 12. The biggest restrictor not to get into the top 10, top 12 sort of would be my braking points on the Superbike. You know, I know the braking points on a Super Twin or 600, still not great, but I'm going to have to learn. Coming so fast on the Superbike compared to the 600 Super Twin, I'm going to have to learn the new braking points, and it's going to take a wee bit of time. I think compared to the 600 maybe is 174, was it?
170,
So
174.
You're going to be pushing 205.
205 right now.
So we're going to have a wee bit of a different braking marker.
Definitely.
Yeah, well, you've got a brave difference between the 600 Super Sport and the Superbike Super Stock. You know, the weight obviously being the big one, you can brake hard on the 600. I feel for myself, you've got more stability on the big bike braking and feel more comfortable on it. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Tires are a big factor too for the Superbike. For the likes of the Northwest 200, will run a harder centre in the tyre as well. You know, obviously if the bike's upright more on a straight.
Yeah, you've just got a wee bit of a difference.
Braking distances as well. Obviously the speed of the Superbike.
You can't be through off either when you're coming four abreast down to the braking points.
Oh,
From 200 mile an hour or wherever it may be, you know, you sort of have to keep your wits about you and focus on your braking markers and maybe not theirs.
yeah.
The conditions, all being well, it's sunshine this year, but if it's wet, we're going to have to take it a wee bit slower. I haven't experienced the Briggs Northwest yet in the rain, so I've had it damp. It was a wee bit damp one of the days, but you just have to take a lap and see where the boundaries are, see what the track grip is like, and you go from there.
Yeah, again, it involves wet tyres and softening up the suspension. You soften the suspension, get a wee bit more drive on the front. You know, load the front bit, let the tyre grip and let it work.
Upper brake. Yeah.
Then if it becomes a wet race, then we're into a full setup, wet setup change. i.e. it'll be changing front wheel, back wheel to wet tyres. So, softening up the rear suspension to a wet setup. And the front, taking preload off the front, softening the front suspension to make it grippy, not too rigid on the front, too rigid. You're hitting the front brakes, you just wash the front out on you. You've got a wee bit of drag in the front to roll a bit of the weight and the rider weight into the front wheel and get traction, get grip from there.
Some of the better parts of the sport is just sitting chilling out with all our team owners and all our riders and having a wee bit of crack. You know, and of course once you've got the rider home safe and sound and you've maybe had a really good result that day, yeah, you all sit around, have a wee drink and just reminisce and talk about the next one. Yeah, this is the race mascot here. As you can see, we've even got a wee orange collar and all on. But I think it's Aaron actually. I'll probably end up sitting in this seat one day. I've got three boys in the business. Aaron's sort of taken over the main workshop and day-to-day running of the company. Ross, my youngest one, he's running the lathe shop. It's a different department. Kyle, the middle one, he likes to do the site work. He's the grafter. He likes to weld and be on site and doing that type of thing. So yeah, I guess one day the bikes will have to come to an end. Aaron's going to be a dad this year. He'll have to focus on children, and maybe what sport he's going to take them into maybe in the future, and settling to, I say, running the business and being a dad.
Yeah, I've had a few stories over the years. Well, one was quite recently, or last year at the Cookstown, a few years before I got a podium. So I was going last year to win it. Obviously, I thought I can do this, and second lap of practice, yeah, I completely high-sided, broke my collarbone and was very embarrassed. But I think a few people that year had came off in the same corner, so it didn't feel as bad after that. But it was a friendly reminder to take it a wee bit easier. I also broke my ankle last year too in the middle of the season, leading the World 100 Championship. That didn't help things, and I was very annoyed because it was another bike. It wasn't with my bike, and we had to ride on with the broken ankle that weekend.
We actually tried to get his ankle pulled into shape ourselves. Jamie, our crew chief at the time, Jamie Hamilton, there tried to get Aaron to sit in a chair, put your foot down, put your hands on it, and stretch out your collarbone, wasn't it? But his ankle was massively bruised and drooped, but we eventually got his boot back on. And he managed, I don't know how he managed it, but he jumped back on the short bike and won the next two races over an ankle set, you know, so. And that led up to the end of the season when, if we hadn't done that, we wouldn't have won the championship.
Yeah, we had a couple of beers in the boat that night.
That was a heavy night, but it was good.
The weekend that I broke my ankle, I was getting married the next week in Italy. So I went into the hospital and they were going to put a cast on me, and I said, no, you can't put a cast on me, I'm getting married here in a couple of weeks. So they put me in a boot, so I had to walk down the aisle in my boot.
In Italy, that was it. Married.
Yeah.
Happily married mom.
Yeah, she didn't like that one. She wasn't happily impressed with that one, but that's part of it, I guess.
No,
The collarbone, yeah, she freaked out a wee bit about that too. Then she asked me why am I still doing this, and the injury's just, it's like water off a duck's back. It's just,
It
yeah,
is.
fix your injury and go again.
We've all done it. We've all done this for the love of the sport. We get injured, we keep motoring on. I've done it myself in these things. In one big crash, I crushed 2 vertebrae in my neck, fractured my kneecap, dislocated my ankle, and broke the 2 scaphoids in the one crash. But we got back at it again. 3 months, had my license back, and was away racing again. But we all do it. We just love the sport.
People almost wonder why.
Yeah. And the ways look at it, they say you're not ways. What are you doing? Like?
Yeah.
Well, it beats walking down the promenade, holding hands and scaling stones.